had nothing. It was the Minnesota Vikings was AP. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Teams play against them. Y'all, man, put 9 in the box. All right, yo, coach, we put 9 in the box. You know, he's still doing it.
Right,
I mean, he's still like, it was crazy.
One thing we have to keep in mind is that, and we talked about it on the show,
but at the same time, it comes from 2 different points. Then all of a sudden, you want to say, oh, well,
I think for me, I don't know if I can speak for everybody else.
This is Dead End Sports.
Welcome to another episode of Dead End Sports. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you go to DeadEndSports.com. Make sure you follow all of the social media, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Make sure you follow everybody of the crew individually on all social media networks. Also, make sure you check out our live Blog Talk Radio show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We go for 2 hours, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Tuesday. And if you can't catch us live, make sure you catch us on the podcast.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
Subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio to the podcast and hear Fifo talking some crazy stuff on there all the time. Or if you miss something, you're not subscribed anywhere, even though I encourage you to subscribe and leave a comment. Go to the site and you can catch up there because all the shows and stuff that you may have missed or old shows that we have, they're on the website too, DeadEndSports.com.
All right, so here's another edition of Dead End Sports. Of course, I'm the host, 12 Kyle. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the top running backs in the NFL of 2014. As you all know, if you don't have a running back in this league, you don't have a team pretty much. You have to be able to run the ball. Things are changing, the game is changing. Teams are throwing the ball a lot more now, but you still got to have those great running backs. We obviously, if you're a big football fan, you probably came up in an era like we did of great running backs. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 running backs in the NFL, and I'm pretty sure we won't agree about anything that we're going to talk about today. So I'll start first with you, Fifo, man. Tell me your top 5 running backs, man.
I already know the comment section. I'm ready. I'm ready for you. And if you look, make sure you call in and check us out live every Tuesday. So the comment section, and you get us live every Tuesday. But top 5 running backs. Number 5 is not that crazy. Matt Forte, Chicago Bears. Big, versatile running back. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, I think of top 5 talent in the league. Does it every year. Sometimes he's hurt, but for the most part, you know, he's healthy. Let's be honest, running back is a car crash. Mm-hmm. It's a car crash position. So to play 14 plus games at running back, that's real good. And Forte is typically healthy, and the stats speak for himself. And what he means to that offense, I think he's really the foundation. Because we all know how Jay Cutler can, you know, got good Jay, bad Jay.
Yeah,
right.
Hit or miss.
Exactly. So that foundation, I really think is Forte. I think he really stabilizes what Chicago's trying to do there. Number 4, Super Bowl champ, Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
Beast mode. In terms of a power back, nobody better than the NFL right now. Not in today's game. Man, this guy drug 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people sometimes if need be. He always gets you the extra yardage. And one thing with running backs, especially power backs like him, that you always want to look for is how does he fall? I don't think I've ever seen Marshawn Lynch get knocked back. Unless it's like he's already being stood up by 4 or 5 guys and then you got another 300-pound guy push him back. Right. But outside of that, one-on-one, oh, there's no way he's falling backwards at all. Number 3, see, now this is where it starts. Because we already know the top 3 is going to be different for everybody.
Well, it should be, but go ahead. We got to get some Fifo-isms here right now.
AP's my number 3.
What?
AP's my number 3. Productivity, we know he's productive. Like, is he a great running back? Yes. But I don't think that he has the necessary weaponry around him to really put him at that level that we know AP can be on. He doesn't have a quarter.
But what makes him crazy is that the year he rushed for 2,000 yards, you knew he was coming.
Exactly.
And he still rushed for 2,000 plus
But you know what?
8 minutes in the box, 8-9 minutes in the box.
But Dead End Sports wasn't, like this episode wasn't filmed 2 years ago, or else he would have been number 1. But coming off of last year, I'm going off of last year, coming into this year. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put AP at number 3. And there's no disrespect to him. Because first
I was like disrespect, but
I'm not disrespecting because no, I'm not disrespecting him.
Right.
I'm disrespecting Minnesota.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. I think it's more of a Minnesota. I think it's more of a team thing for me than it is AP. Of course, AP's that pillar. You could put 11 guys up there, and he's still probably going to break and do his thing. But for me, football is the ultimate team game. I don't think that he has enough around him so he can shine at that ultimate 2,000-yard level. Like that right there was crazy. And if we would have did this show 2 years ago, he would have been number one, hands down, not even close. But I think that the other two running backs on my list have closed the gap because of what they mean for their team and how they impact the game for their team. At number 2, I put Jamal Charles.
Whoa.
Number 2.
Whoa.
And the reason why, again, something like AP, where I feel like the team around him is very good. Very good. And what he means, he is their offense. He is that one guy that will always be involved in almost every big play, whether it's because of play action, you know, him already breaking some runs and doing all of that, and now the defense is sucked up, and now Alex Smith has time and doing those other type of things, and I like, and realistically, he is an Andy Reid running back. He is Westbrook on steroids. What was his first name?
Brian
Westbrook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He is a more elusive, a more versatile Brian Westbrook. So the way he's utilized and the type of production
and Andy Reid's
system, that's what makes him number 2.
Because before then, he was
still good, but Andy Reid and what he's been able to put around him took him to another level. And that leads me to my number 1 pick. I think the best running back in the game today, the way that the NFL is played today. And again, it goes with his team, the offensive system, the coaching, the pieces that are around him, is LaShawn McCoy. I think that the way that he's utilized in the passing game, with those bubble screens, with the spread offenses, I think that the way he's utilized and the way that that team is built and the coaching philosophy, today he's the best running back for today's NFL. Now I know people are gonna be like, just take the one player individually. I didn't go that route. I'm looking at the whole team and what they mean for the team and how they fit into that structure. And for me, LaShawn McCoy is the best weapon at running back today.
Number 5, I have. Number 5, I got Marshawn Lynch. He's my number 5 back. Beast mode. Yeah, I think he is like the most valuable player on their team. They run their offense through him. He's what gets them going. You know, and they have defensive team, so defense is quiet. You got to be able to run the ball and control the tempo, which is why, you know, I think Seattle's been so successful with having beast mode back there running the rock. Number 4, I got Matt Forte. Good versatile running back, can catch backfield, good speed. Been suffering some injuries the past couple seasons, but I think he's still top 5 back, you know, when healthy, easily. Matt Forte. And number 3, I got Jamal Charles.
Okay.
Just for the simple fact that that's another guy. I always back when he was in the league, and then when Chris Johnson was like tearing the league up, I always referred to Jamal Charles like the broke man's Chris Johnson. Like when he get that open field, you can't catch him. He's out. He's out. Yeah, he's gone. You can't catch him. You know. But then he got injured. I remember because my punk ass, I drafted him. He got injured in week 3 with like a turf toe or something like that. Man, I was so mad, and I haven't picked Jamal Charles since then. But Jamal Charles is real good. He's a good back. Like people say, he fits into Andy Reid's system well, and I think he's gonna have. If he don't get injured, hopefully, you know, that running back, man, so hit or miss, because all it takes is one good hit, or you juke the wrong way and pop a knee or do something, man. It's scary with them running backs. But yeah, Jamal Charles, number 3. Number 2, actually, it was I had a hard time between these two, but number 2 is AP. I got AP at number 2. Yeah, I got AP at number 2. I got AP at number 2. It was between him and LaShawn McCoy. I was like, damn, who should AP be number 1 or McCoy be number 1? But I just look at AP being number 2. I guess I don't know why. I just put AP at number 2. He's like the LeBron James of running backs. Really, he's a freak of nature for one thing. He's
LeBron James, but you put him at 2.
Yeah, I put him at 2.
But LeBron's number 1.
Yeah, but I don't know.
See, that don't make no sense.
I mean, as far as freakish, like
okay, I
freakish,
got
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can just LeBron is like the best athlete, but I think at one point when LeBron first came to the league, he wasn't the best basketball player.
Right, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? He was the best athlete, but that's why I look at AP. AP is just like a freakish running back athlete, and for him tearing his 2 ACLs and at the end of the previous season, and then still be ready the next season and rush for almost 2,000 yards,
No,
80 yards,
2,000.
over 2,000 yards. I'm sorry, he almost broke the rushing record.
Yeah.
Right.
Coming off that injury, and he didn't have no quarterback or no like threat wide receiver. You knew he was coming, and he was still like he didn't have nothing. It was the Minnesota Vikings was AP. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Teams play against him. Y'all man, put 9 in the box. All right, yo, coach, we put 9 in the box. You know, he's still doing it.
Right,
I mean, he's still like it was crazy. And number 1 is McCoy. Shady. Yeah, man. Shady, man. I think last year I was a believer. I think after last year I was like, dude, because he showed some glimpse of Barry Sanders as far as his elusiveness. Right. I was like, oh my God, the way he was making linebackers look like preschoolers trying to tackle him, man. I was like, okay, yeah. McCoy is that deal, and of course he's versatile. He's a lot of things people don't give him credit for. He's a good blocking running back too.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't really speak on that because they always talk about how offensively good he is, but he's a good blocking running back. So that with that, him catching the ball backfield, he can put him in the slot if you want to.
He's a complete back.
He's a complete back. He's like the ultimate complete back. So yeah, hands down. I was going back and forth. I'm like, man, AP. Because I just kept thinking, like, man, AP is a monster, man. He's like, golly.
But it's different. It's like the way they play the game now. How can you not pick LaShawn? Yeah. Like, whatever you need him to do, he's like almost like a bigger Darren Sproles. Yeah. Like he, to me, the way the NFL is played now, we was talking about like the 80s, even part of the 90s. Oh, AP.
You've been sitting over there patiently waiting.
Get his face.
Yeah, look his face. Tell him where you at, son.
What's wrong, kid?
Man,
you just feel like disrespectful. We disrespectful over here.
Yeah, man, y'all being extremely disrespectful.
All right, man, go hit us with your 5.
Let's go ahead and start. First of all, I have 2 new additions that you guys didn't have. My 5 is DeMarco Murray.
I knew you was about to say DeMarco Murray. I knew it. I should have put $20 on the table. That kid was gonna put DeMarco Murray. And he's good.
I never even stay healthy.
DeMarco Murray was a 1,000-yard rusher last year with nearly 100 carries less than some of the top the 9 rushers before him. He was 10th in rushing last year with only 217 carries. The problem with DeMarco Murray outside of health is that they don't use him enough.
Jerry Jones?
Yeah, they don't use him enough. They just throw all the time. He has a good point. Yeah, so you give him the carries that Peterson, McCoy, Charles, or any of those other guys ahead of him, he'll be up there, man. Especially with the way they ran the ball last year throughout the year. He averaged 5 yards a carry. So DeMarco Murray, man, he had 1,121 yards last year on 217 carries, averaged 5.2 yards a carry. Number 4, Eddie Lacy, man. I like Eddie Lacy a lot, man. He's physical, he can catch.
After 1 year, Eddie Lacy's in your top 5?
Yes.
Did he play the whole year?
No, he was.
I think he did. Well, he might have missed a couple of games, but I mean,
Brandon Merriweather hit him, and he got suspended for that hit.
He got knocked out.
Yeah.
Hey, but Eddie Lacy is the truth, and you'll see it this year. Eddie Lacy.
But top 5, Ken?
Yes.
Like, are you not rolling out the red carpet just a little early? Like, here's the thing, right? Like, every running back that me and B named has had multiple years of production. Like, what if with Eddie Lacy, right? Let's say he's a concussion case. You know, and I'm not trying to put that on him or anything, but he missed some time last year, and he's only been in the league 1 year. Mm-hmm. So what if this year he only played 7 games, 8 games? You know what I'm saying? So
how good or how productive is he in those 7 or 8 games? You know what I'm saying?
But I think that even though it's not fair, injuries sometimes can derail somebody, and they're not a top 5 player if they're always injured. So I don't know. I like him as a talent. I think he could be a top 5 talent. So I'm not arguing that point. I don't like 1 year. I don't know, man.
This year you all will see it. I will take Eddie Lacy over. Who did you have? Forte, and who else? Who was your 4-5?
Forte and Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, yeah,
You take him over Super Bowl winning running back Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, because Marshawn Lynch had 300 carries last year. He's on his way down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
we talking about today, this year.
We're talking about 2000.
And I'm talking about this year, today.
So Eddie Lacy's gonna have a better year, or is a better running back than Marshawn Lynch. That's what you're saying right now.
That's what I'm saying right now.
Okay.
Yes.
See it. All y'all will see it.
Hey, they could have won the Super Bowl last year if Aaron Rodgers would have stayed healthy. They would have been a contender. They would have been a contender. And they had the ground and pound game as well as the aerial game with Aaron Rodgers. He completes the Green Bay Packers.
I agree.
Offensively.
I agree.
And they rotated backs in and out of that system, and they found one in Eddie Lacy.
Because James Starks is no slouch either.
No. He can play, but he's not Eddie Lacy. Yeah, to come in the NFL and do what he did in his first year, come on, man. Yeah, Eddie Lacy.
Lacy over Lynch.
Yeah,
sure will. Cause, I could throw the argument that he threw at Lacy.
Michael Murray, but the Lacy, I disagree with that.
I mean, Lacy was good, but he wasn't like
Forte stay hurt.
like top five. Not impressive to where I'm like, okay, this is a top 5 back.
But Forte's done it for multiple years.
But you said that he has a history of injuries.
Yeah, but I also said
and he stayed healthy last year, and that's why you put him in.
But I also said that 12 to 14 games from a running back is
all right. So it's reason 12 to 14 from Eddie Lacy over Forte. I'll probably take that.
I think Eddie Lacy can be a top 5.
Exactly.
He can.
I think he's a top 5.
He's right now. Exactly. That's why I was like,
I don't think he's there yet.
All right.
We will see. You know what? At the end of the year, y'all gonna be like, you know what, Ken, you were right.
No. But I want to get this on camera. Ken, look, I'm agreeing with you. He is a top 5 talent. I just don't think that he's top 5 right now. But I definitely think he's a top 5 talent, hands down. We need
Number three. Yeah, you know what? I got Jamal Charles, man, and I you know what? I think the Andy Reid system brought out some things in him, but I think prior to Andy Reid getting there, he was a beast. Because I had him on my fantasy team one year, and I think he ended up getting hurt. I think I got screwed like you be. And that's why I didn't draft him last year. I was like, nah, you don't screw me up. So I was like, nah. But Jamal Charles, I think even without Andy Reid's system, is definitely a good running back. And so I really like him a lot. Again, I think health is a concern for me, but healthy, I'm not gonna knock him for the injuries he's had. As long as he's on the field, he's gonna do work. So I'm gonna go with Jamal Charles. Number 2, LaShawn McCoy, man. I have been a believer in LaShawn McCoy for years, man. Back when Vic was starting, and it used to tick me off that they used to drop back and pass all the time when they had LaShawn McCoy back there, and it was baffling to me. And Vic used to get beat up because they would throw it 30 times, and I'm like, you got LaShawn McCoy, who has proven consistently that he can run the ball and produce on 20 or less carries. Why are you guys not running the ball? As soon as you throw Nick Foles back there, though, all of a sudden now you want to run the ball a little bit more. Get out of there with that stuff, man. But yeah, again, like Charles, he can catch, he can run, he's shifty, he's elusive, he's all of those things. He's a complete back in today's NFL, like Fifo continues to hark back to. So I look, what happened last year was no surprise because I saw it just like I see it in Eddie Lacy. Number 1, man, how in the world can you guys not put Adrian Peterson as the number 1 back?
Thank you, Ken.
I just don't understand it. And your argument is just buffoonery. You're gonna sit here and say that he's not number 1 because there's no pieces around him. That should make him number 1. Like B said, he had no quarterback. He had 9 in the box. He ran for over 2,000 yards. That's why he was the MVP.
No.
Last year, he didn't have much last year. He was doing the same thing.
But he didn't do the same thing because he didn't go over 2,000 yards.
He didn't have, so he has to go over 2,000 yards?
I'm not saying that.
Sounds like that's what you're saying.
No. But what you're saying, no. But what everybody's doing right now is pulling from 2 years ago, saying, "Oh, the 2,000-yard season." And I said that we
was 5th in the league in rushing.
Okay, and that doesn't. He's not number 1 on my list.
But people knew that he was going to go for 2,000 yards.
And I feel you. And all I'm saying is,
he was be 5th in the league in rushing.
And I feel you. And all I'm saying is, I feel like Jamal Charles and LaShawn McCoy both had better years last year, and that's what I'm basing it on. Man. I'm not basing it on the 2,000-yard season.
But they had a system. They had LaShawn McCoy, Jamal Charles benefited from Andy Reid's system and Alex Smith, who has proven that he can win games regardless of where he goes. if he's in the right system. He was in San Francisco and he won games. He went to Kansas City, he won games, right? So he's had players around him. So Jamal Charles benefited from that to a certain degree, right? Same thing with LaShawn McCoy. You know what I'm saying? He got Nick Foles, but he has a system. He has Chip Kelly's high-octane offense. Of course he's going to do work. Right. Adrian Peterson had Christian Ponder and Tavares Jackson, maybe. I guess if he was playing, I think remember he playing. Well, whenever he was there, it doesn't matter. That's the point. Adrian Peterson had nobody, and he continued to put up numbers.
Going forward, AP is, and I'm not saying that he's declining, but he's closer to his end than both Jamal Charles and LaShawn McCoy.
I'll agree with that.
So at this point, I just think that those two guys are better right now.
So why not slide him until he gets until he loses that step? He hadn't lost the step yet.
These other two guys' steps, I'd rather have their 2 steps than AP step. That's all I'm saying. I'd rather have.
Are you serious? Okay, wait a minute. In an open field, mano a mano. We're not talking about juking, because Adrian Peterson can juke some people, right?
Oh, of course he can.
All right, but if he can't juke you, what is he going to do? He's going to run your ass over. Can LaShawn McCoy run you over? Can Jamal Charles run you over?
Depending on your size. No, not in this way.
Wait, hold on. So in a system, in a team that, okay, you got Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles, and LaShawn McCoy. You have the system in place. Everything is equal among them. Those are your 3 backs. Adrian Peterson can catch, right?
But not like the other 2.
But he can catch.
But not like the other 2.
He just has. He hasn't had the opportunities.
I feel you, but
that's not his fault.
But the other 2 are just better natural pass catchers. Let's be honest.
He hasn't had the opportunity.
But the other 2 are not.
Him for not. You can't penalize
Reggie Bush is a better pass catcher than AP, and you want to argue that? Are you for real?
But he can catch the ball.
And I'm not saying that he can't, but I'm just saying that that's not his best skill set.
He can catch the ball on equal footage, just like LaShawn McCoy.
No, not on equal footage. And that's what I'm saying. It's not the same. It's
all right,
not
whatever,
the same.
man.
It's not the same.
I think that I could throw him the ball and he can catch it, and he can run with it just like everybody else. You give him the same offensive line, you give everything, and you give them the ball. I would rather have Adrian Peterson go out there. I would trust Adrian Peterson more than I would trust any of them, because if he gets in a situation, you're not bringing him down. We've seen him run over 3, 4, 5 people at one time. I feel you. He's a far better back than everybody else.
Yeah, my number 1 is obvious. AP is number 1. I mean, like I said, we all, and I said at the beginning, we all came from an era where we saw running backs rush for a lot of yards. In our lifetime, we've only seen a handful rush for 2,000 yards. You can't dismiss what he did in that 2,000-yard season, because his 2,000-yard season, not only was he 10 yards shy of the record, but he did it coming off an ACL injury. Yeah. So I don't think that you can, and Ken and I aren't giving him props for the 2,000-yard season. I'm talking about right now. Right now, AP is by far the best running back in the game. And I'm going to tell you why. On 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, Shady's not getting the ball.
I wouldn't give it to him.
Shady's not getting the ball. AP's getting the ball. I promise you AP's getting the ball. Everybody in the crowd knows AP's getting the ball. Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, Shady wasn't getting the ball. They run a screen or something.
Tell him, Kyle.
They run a screen or something.
But who's it going to?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean? No.
But that's my point.
That's my point. That's my point, Kyle. That's my point. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, my point is that you're gonna get your best player the ball. Now, LaShawn McCoy's skill set is different from AP, and I give you that. You already know it's gonna be straight up the gut, right off the center's booty, right there. You hit that A gap or the B gap. It don't matter, because you already know AP's getting the rock, right? And I give you that. You can't do the same thing with LaShawn McCoy. But what I'm saying is that you could give him the ball. It's just different, man.
AP 4th and 1. Everybody in the crowd. You got 70,000 people in the stands. You got millions of people watching home. Everybody knows he's getting it. Just like that 2,000-yard season.
You know he was running.
It's unreal in the NFL to see a 9-man in the box. For those of you listening at home, 9 men mean that you have 9 defensive players within a 5-yard radius of the line of scrimmage. So you're putting the men in the box. Then you're basically saying, we know that you're running and we're here to stop you. Okay, so that's 9 men in the box for those of you scoring at home. 9 men in the box, and you still run it, and he still goes for the yard. He's still rushing for 150, 160, 170, 200 yards. That's unheard of in today's NFL. Not in the 80s, not in the 70s. That's today's NFL.
Right.
So the blatant disrespect was just, it's just disrespect. And don't get me wrong. Just to round out my top 5, I got Marshawn Lynch at 5. I got Matt Forte at 4. I got Jamal Charles at 3 and Shady at 2. So ours are the same. Ours are the same. You know, I don't know what Kim was talking about here.
Performance, man. Y'all be performing.
Hey, I ride with Kim on. We're the same. It's just, you know, our rankings or whatever.
It's just how we view. See, and that's the beauty of it. It's just how we view the game.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna view the game differently. And if you was a GM in a fantasy draft, you would take AP. In real life, you would take AP. I would take Shady, and that's cool. And you know what? You would have a great team, and I would have a great team.
But here's the thing. The point that Kim made too. Also, that when you have that situation where you know what the play is, and you talked about more about the team effort. Okay. Mm-hmm. He has a better team now. So what you think he gonna do now?
Or what you gonna think he's gonna do when LaShawn McCoy and Jamal Charles don't have the team? Can they still produce the way Adrian Peterson has produced?
And here's where we can finish all of this right here. We could, like people say, we can cut him off. Put Shady on that team that AP had, and you tell me how many yards he gets.
Get him, Kyle.
How many yards does he get?
I don't know.
I don't know. He gets 50 yards.
Nah, I'm not saying he's gonna go for 2,000.
Case closed. Case closed.
But
Case closed.
2 years ago. We talking live.
Say something to that.
That's cool.
You got anything else?
Nah.
He's like, nah. That's classic right there. Nah.